So, time to visit the Ascalon Club. It's locked.
Okay. And we should have access, right? Maybe we just need to find a way around. Yeah, could be here. This looks open to me. Ill-formed dazzled skull. Okay. Madame Butterfly. Doris Fletcher and Madame Butterfly, Tragedy of Japhet. By David Belasco, adapted from John Luther Long. Rygon Hall. Dress Red Crown Street in Lawn.
Recognize him?
No, this one ain't on our list.
Well, that's one less anyway. It'll make McCullum happy.
That was the vampire I saw earlier. This war takes no prisoners.
Wow.
It's locked, all right.
Okay. Oh, great.
This is no place for you, sir.
Is it not? Okay.
Crush the leech, boys! Killing's all you can say! Crush the leech, boys! I'll kill you! Christ!
Wow. Wow. Yep. Crazy. Okay. That fire whatsoever spray weapon took down my whole life in, I don't know, 2 seconds? That was actually pretty crazy.
It's locked.
to us! Mind his teeth! Oh, my! Watch out, lads! Watch it! It's a killer!
There we go. The Iker's threat. Of all the evil and foul skulls I've ever had to fight, the Iker, or Iker, may be the worst, not because of its fighting prowess, even if it remains a powerful and dangerous opponent, not because of its superior wit or cunning plans. An Iker is quite blunt and straightforward in his actions and objectives. Spread diseases, contagions and epidemics whenever and wherever it can. An Iker is the incarnation of viruses and infections. Wherever it goes, sicknesses appear and quickly spread. It is like it only walks this earth to generate plagues and epidemics, as if its skin itself diffuses sickness. Ikers are clever, sneaky, malevolent and ferocious, capable of enduring many wounds. To spoil a water tank, a granary or a banquet, this is the kind of thing an Iker would enjoy to do, in order to please its putrid and perverse nature. They're so rare that we do not know anything about them. The Lazy Brotherhood believes that they should not be considered vampires or skulls, but as something else. All I know is this: an Iker must be destroyed by all means necessary as soon as it is spotted. From Know Your Enemies by Carl Eldritch, the Preven Leader. You had forgotten about the game and you remembered it today. Yeah, cool. That's great. You're very welcome to join us. We are in a new district, and actually shit is going on and going very wrong. It's like an open war, and well, I do not enjoy being in the middle of it, to be honest. Let's quickly have a look at this.
I cannot enter.
Okay. This looks... Okay. What is it? Sheffield Import. Okay. Looks like an apartment. That's gonna be interesting. That's nice. Alrighty.
The West End. Never have I felt so sad to be back home.
Well, I could not agree more. This doesn't look like home. I mean... This only looks like a war zone. And pretty empty. Where? Okay, do hear a skull, I just don't know where she is. Okay, let's have a quick look. Okay, we're here. Okay, can we get that hideout? That'd be cool.
Lead spotted! Watch out, boys! Take a breath of this! Oh Christ! Grenade!
Oh my. Could you die, please? Yeah, he did. He did. Oh my god, this looks... God. I believe this place was beautiful. I mean... before the epidemic.
Easy does it, boys. We can deal with this, man.
You really want to fight? Okay. If you want. You asked for it.
Watch it! It's a killer!
Now deal with it.
This is not the place for you, sir.
No? Okay. That's better. Well, we will never get the answer.
Kill you!
This beautiful pavilion here. Soaked in blood now. Oh my. I don't know why, but they kind of scare me. I'm just not sure of their abilities. I guess that's an Iker. Oh yeah, okay. Wow. It's like constantly spreading disease. Okay. Oh my. Some good materials though. Okay, we've seen that. Okay, I think we should be on our way now. Let's make Lord Redgrave not wait anymore. This must have been a beautiful place. Okay, a new hideout. We're here? Oh no, it's on the right. Back here. Impressive.
The Ascalon Club. The heart of British vampire society. Not quite as subtle as I expected.
Wait, what? It's like it's an open part of the city, so to say? It's not an actual club? Or are these just citizens, so to say? Okay. Well, first of all, I want to get that hideout. And then we'll have... Okay, crazy. Okay, this is where we need to go. Definitely. Wow. Quite impressive. So where was the hideout? Oh. So it should be here. Is it this house? No. It is. What? No way. That's our mansion. You gotta be kidding me. Wow. Okay. I didn't expect that. Okay, an old letter found in the Reid mansion, 8th of March, 1908. My dear Avery, as I already told you several days ago, I may be forced to leave England, if only for a few months. While I'm away, and until my son comes back to London, I want you to take the best care of our house. I already made the entire necessary arrangements to have your wages increased and paid as long as you'll work. You promised me you'd protect my dear wife and serve her to the best of your ability. For that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If I'm never to return, you're the only man I fully trust. Believe me, your most affectionate friend, Aubrey Reid. That could be our father. Addressing the butler, right? Avery has been paid to take care of the Reid's family until his last breath. Then this should be our mother. Okay. That's crazy though, to be back home. Oh my. I have a bad feeling about this, because the last time we saw her, it was in a graveyard, and she was manipulated by Mary. Well, let's not postpone this any longer.
Yes, Jonathan. Spending next summer in France. Absolutely. Why not?
Okay.
Mother, good evening.
Jonathan! Is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right here, Mother. I'm finally home.
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary? She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
Okay.
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Okay.
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead eyes.
Okay. I'm really not sure what to think of her.
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Oh, that's cute. But that also answers my question. So she exactly knows what's going on. That we are, so to say, undead. And, well, Mary was. Okay.
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson? And my son-in-law? You're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
This is absolutely confusing me. Like, is she imagining that? Or is there really a thing going on? I just don't know.
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
Okay, so she like thinks that she's only talking to, I don't know, memories or visions or something. Oh my goodness. Well.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
That's actually pretty sad. Oh, it's a key. I thought it would be a piece of pizza. It's a key though. Okay. The key to Aubrey Reid's office. Oh. Okay. And this is our room. I think we're able to upgrade this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we are. That's a nice damage boost. Increases damage. Yeah, why not? Okay, can we also upgrade the hacksaw? Not yet. Not yet. Okay. The pistol is pretty good though. Oh, we need tiny good handle parts for this as well. Wait, what did we just use for this? Oh yeah, trigger parts. Good, good, good. Because I want to upgrade this proof and stake, like, as far as I can. As fast as I can. Because it's still our main utility to stay alive. Okay. Wow.
It's locked.
Oh, Avery's down there. I think we should have a talk to him. Well, I guess this is Mary's door. And that's Aubrey's office. Aubrey Reid's first letter. Reid Mansion, 4th April 1908. My dear and beloved John, when you receive this letter, you will be 35 and I'll be long gone. I feel a little silly writing you this first letter that you won't read for a few years. I struggled for a long time about how best to write you this, until I remembered the puzzle and riddles I invented for you when you were a boy. Oh, how you loved to solve those enigmas. Well, I found it would be a good idea to propose to you one final game. It will probably be less rewarding. No candies or exotic treasures for you if you decipher the game this time. But a greater treasure perhaps, the truth. This is my only attempt for you to explain why I chose to leave my family without an explanation. If you want to know why, simply play my little game. It's really up to you, my son. Rest assured that I love you. I promise my family was and still is everything to me. I remember the first time I held you and your sister in my arms. my treasures, my jewels. To see you grow up, play, and laugh filled my heart with joy every time I went back to our home. I could have killed to protect you, my son, my daughter, my wife, but fate found me in the end, and I had to make a tough decision. The worst was to disappear without a word.
Mary?
I decided to do it anyway, and soon I'll be gone for good.
How is your sweet?
I don't ask for forgiveness, but for understanding. If you want to know more, all you have to do is remember how happy we were back in those days. If you want to find the next message, think green grass and tall trees on...
I remember Sunday walks in the park.
Here I can scroll, I'm sorry. Think green grass and tall trees on sunny Sundays. From your affectionate father, Aubrey Reid. I think this is referring to the park, so there we should find the next message, probably. Welcome, Aaron. How are you? You're here to watch the world burn. Yeah, well, we already had to kill a civilian. Dyson Delaney is dead. Oh, and Dorothy Crane, actually. So, yeah. Oh, wait, we can have a look. Okay. We can watch our mother.
I know it's in my heart. What are you?
Your father and I have spoken about your fiancé, Mary. We believe he'll be an honorable husband for you. We'll set a date for the marriage then. That way, I'm sure one of my children will give me grandchildren. I understand your thirst for knowledge, Jonathan, and your father and I are proud of it. But you are not that young anymore, my son. When will I meet your soulmate? You can ascribe my romantic tendencies to my French origins if you want, Aubrey. But I'll never cease to believe in a match made in heaven, my beloved.
I really wish you could meet her, Mother. You would love her.
Oh my. That constant puking in the backyard is pretty annoying. That's like... not cool. I wanted to go here. Ah. Emmeline frequently speaks to dead people, including her son. Yeah. She's like, yeah. I think it was too much. It was too much for her.
It's locked, all right.
I think it was too much for her, and she went. Well, I don't want to use the word crazy, but you probably know what I mean. It was too much for her to bear. This is a beautiful house as well, though. Aaron. But yeah, I'm good. Thank you for asking. Is there something special on your day? Why you're in that mood? Or just like a regular thing? Feels a bit strange to come back home like after a long time and then just loot everything. Feels a bit strange.
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan? I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reid expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
A good question. And one we're not able to answer, actually.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reid is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reid was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reid myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Avery's the only one who's looking after Emmeline Reid now. And he was paid for it, yeah.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reid is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I'm sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
I found an old letter written by my father and addressed to me. Do you know anything about it, Avery?
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday, but you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reid was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require.
Do you know my mother speaks to the dead members of this family?
Yes. I sometimes hear her speaking to you, Miss Mary, and her baby. Sometimes your father, too.
So she thinks I'm also dead. And what about you?
I believe she only sees her relatives as the dead she speaks to, Mr. Jonathan. It breaks my heart to see Miss Reid like that.
Yeah, I feel the same actually.
I am powerless to help her. She thinks I'm a ghost too. Whatever I say, she just sees me as another dead relative.
But you are still alive, Mr. Jonathan. That's the difference. And I am sure Miss Reid will realize it soon.
Maybe.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir. So my task is not over.
Avery wishes the young Jonathan Reid would take more care of his mother. Okay. Let's pay him the respect he actually deserves.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
You really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
That's a tough question. Well, will this be our home once everything's over? Or could we stay at Lady Ashbury's house? Who knows? Who knows? So, truth is,
I really don't know. I have always enjoyed seeing new horizons. Once the epidemic is over, it would be nice to leave London for a while.
I understand, Mr. Jonathan. But you have to realize that your mother needs you. Your next departure could break her heart.
Goodbye, Avery. Please watch over my mother until I return.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan. But please return as soon as possible.
all right. people here to actually talk to. And I think the ladder should be somewhere here. Temple Garden. Yeah, but we will go and search for that another time. Right now I want to make a few more new acquaintances.
Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reid.
Welcome, Dr. Reid. Welcome to my humble shop.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the danger were that high.
He should not be that naive, if you ask me.
You cannot expect the newspapers to expose the truth while the war is still raging. I can assure you that the situation here is desperate.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating a bit? For the thrill of it?
People are dying in the streets. Yeah. We're totally exaggerating. Calhoun does not consider the seriousness and dangerousness of the epidemic. Cool. Good.
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you want.
Finding a good restaurant? Is that really all that interests you?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
He likes good restaurants and succulent tables, right?
I must confess, I have quite specific tastes when it comes to nutrition.
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic meals. If you ever find an intriguing table, please share the address.
Okay, that's an actual quest. That's cool. I like that.
Is it not a little too late to be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
Okay. That's pretty straightforward.
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else. But the night always has a certain je ne sais quoi of its own.
Do you have any family nearby?
Not since my parents died. I'm London's lone gourmet.
Really? But you seem to be such a pleasant and sociable fellow.
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
London's Lone Gourmet. What a strange title.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
That explains his delicate taste, at least.
I may have a look at your goods, Mr. Russell.
Oh yeah. Okay. We'll definitely buy from him. I think, like, those items we can just sell, right? Because here it says can be recycled, but here it just says, like, good resale, so... Okay, let's see what we need. Well, actually, don't we need all of these? We will need it sooner or later, so it just doesn't matter. We can buy it already. Alright.
It has been such a long time since I last went to the theater.
Okay, who's that guy?
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention, please?
Come on, Johnny. Don't you recognize your oldest friend?
Clarence. Clarence Crossley. How are you? My God. So you survived the war too. So sorry I didn't recognize you at first.
I almost didn't recognize you either. War does that to men, I heard. In my case, it was true, for I witnessed the horror that lies underneath.
Okay, Clarence Crossley. Friend of ours. Okay, he's having a migraine, but we can heal him.
When did you escape the war and return to London?
You know what's funny? I almost never think about the war. Not anymore. I'm involved in another kind of battle now.
Oh my, what kind of battle would that be?
I know what you mean. I haven't had much time to think about the war either since my return.
Of course. With the epidemic, I bet you've been busy as well. Forgive me, Johnny, I didn't want to sound selfish.
What is this new battle?
Well, I saw terrible things during the war. Horrors I thought I'd forget. They're here too. They're everywhere. Vampires.
What? Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Not at all.
How is your wife, Venus?
We've spent so much time away from each other. And so many things have happened.
But you're alive. You returned in one piece and you have a family. How many soldiers can say the same?
Believe me, it's not quite that simple. Unlike you, I'm not the man I used to be.
Is everything all right at home? Surely Venus was relieved to see you return from France in one piece.
Have you forgot what people are like in this part of town, Johnny? Venus fears for our family reputation. Now her husband has become the village idiot.
What? Deeply worried about the family's reputation. Why is he the district idiot though? I don't get that. Okay.
Do you need medical assistance, Clarence?
It's a little late for visiting hours, don't you think?
What can I say? I haven't lost my old habits.
I hope we're talking about the same habits, old friend.
You need some rest, Clarence. You should try to sleep.
Okay.
Where shall I eat tonight?
Good evening, miss.
Oh my god, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill me. Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no. Why do you think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reid. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to recognize the signs that betray a vampire.
I understand she also taught you how to tease and gently mock innocent young Ekons. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Charlotte.
That is so cool. Awesome. Her daughter, okay. That's really cool.
What do you think about this part of town?
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Yes, I was born a few streets away.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck. Oh, are you blushing, Dr. Reid?
She is as cocky as her mother. I like that. Awesome.
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste. Even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich.
I suppose you're right. But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night, since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
Are you a suffragette, then? Oh, you really are Elizabeth's girl. Without a doubt.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia. But women here can't vote unless they are property owners.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared your opinion for a long time. Even before I met Emmeline Pankhurst.
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates you so much. Too bad there aren't more men like you in the vicinity.
I'm sorry, but yeah. We're already in the developing relationship with your mother, alright?
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this Emily?
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to campaign with me tonight, but hasn't turned up.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm afraid she might be in trouble.
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reid. And please, don't tell my mother.
Yeah.
Tell me about your adoption.
What do you want to know?
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see. And one day, I'll have my death to face.
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is Ekon, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
What exactly has your mother told you about me?
Your name and profession, obviously, and the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was not your fault.
Does it not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reid? Or you?
She knows a lot about vampires, does not fear them. I mean, I would pick yes if we could like be humorous here. Like, oh yeah, you should be careful, right? But if he would say something like, yeah, I could easily turn to a beast and rip your, I don't know, crack you open, kill you. Like, that's not what I want to say, so I'm saying no.
Of course not. You have nothing to fear from me, or your mother.
Good to know. And don't worry, my mother told me everything I need to know about vampire tricks, their nature as well as features.
Your mother is not like any other vampire I've met.
I believe she thinks the same about you, Dr. Reid.
Is it love?
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, Where are they buried? How is it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
Yeah, fair question.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Okay. That's Clarence. A warning, Wollfyh. West Enders must unite. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them control you. They are amongst us. They lust after your soul. Vampires are real. Defend your community. This public warning leaflet has been financed and distributed by Minister C. Crossley. For more information, please contact him directly and attend his next public lecture. Crossley. I don't know. Somehow that name. Yeah. Rings in my ear. Could it be his father? Or her father? Clarence believes that vampires have invaded London. Didn't we know that already? Oh wait, C. Crossley is actually him. Okay. So he's actually like trying to unite the people against a possible vampire. Oh, here she is. A possible vampire invasion or something like that. I'm sure we can get up there. I'm just not sure why we should do that. Oh, nice. Okay. New dialogue with Lady Ashbury. Okay. Yeah. Looking at the time, it will be the last thing we do now. I'm gonna have a nice little chat. With Lady Ashbury again. Sapporo Garden Hall Theatre. Clyde Fitch presents Doris Fletcher in Sappho. The Man Who Was Dead. With Doris Fletcher, Archer Nolan, Summon Bells. Opens March 14th to May 18th, 1930. New Venus Theatre. Whiteacre Street in London. Yeah. Nice. Now we have unlocked that door as well. Very good. first time we can actually walk around in her home. And I'm sure she doesn't mind. We just take some things and read some personal diary. Oh my god. Okay. Personal diary, 9th May 1930. Tonight, I went with mother visiting the sick of the East End. It had been a long time since I went in the sad part of town. To see her talking and listening to those poor people moved me beyond words. She really tries to make a difference and really tries to help these men and women. She also killed one of them tonight. It happened so quickly. I did not even notice she had vanished. But when she reappeared, she looked so much more alive, more vivid. I immediately knew what had just happened. She took a life, and I saw nothing. We returned home without a word. If I ever become like her, I won't feed on the dying. I will kill the guilty and the brutes wherever they hide. 13th September 1914. This afternoon, 2 men tried to corner me in a back alley while I was campaigning for the women's right to vote. I called for help as loud as I could, like mother told me. I don't know what would have happened if a soldier had not ordered them to leave me alone. He then walked me back home and tried to kiss me. I refused. He did not say a word and left. The whole story made me so sad I was still crying when mother woke up after the night had come. I told her the whole truth and she held me against her chest. Then we went to the theater to see Doris Fletcher in her new play. I think I'm a little bit frustrated that mother did not rush out to make them all pay. If I were a vampire, I would not be that merciful. 15th September 1914. We had a terrible argument with mother last night, as she refused once again to turn me into an immortal. When I reminded her of what had happened to me in that street with those 2 men and how things would have been different if I had been like her, or if they had carried weapons, she simply smiled and told me that to be part of this world meant to be ready to face it. I'm not sure I understand what she means, but it drives me crazy. I left home in the middle of the night to see Emily at her house, and I spent the whole day there. Maybe it's time for me to leave mother's house and live my life, just like Emily. I love mother so much, but it frustrates me. So when she refuses to talk about my conversion. 17th February 1915. Tonight I'm as sad as I am excited, for I'm about to leave this house for good. Mother has agreed to let me have my own flat in the West End, as long as it is not too far from her house. I had to promise her I would be very careful. I told her how much I love her, and she told me she was proud of me. I understand now that she only wants me to be as strong as independent as she is. I must admit I'm very thankful for all she taught me through these years. She made the woman I am today. Now it's time for me to choose where to go from here. Whatever I'm going to do with my life, it's up to me. All I know is this: if I ever chose to become an immortal, I will not involve my mother in my choice. Well, this is my life, and I'm responsible for my actions. Okay. Charlotte is still hoping to become a vampire despite her mother's disagreement. Oh my. I fear this could be a problem. What would it, like, I don't know. I instantly have the situation in my mind where she's in danger and maybe would die, and we could save her with our blood, but that would transform her. Something like that. Hopefully that will not happen. Okay, but that was not Lady Ashbury's diary. Isn't that the same painting as in our house? I assume that would be Aubrey, our father, but maybe not. Oh, there she is. She's painting. Okay. Well, I gotta admit, she has a cool taste. Dracula, to the inspiring Lady Ashbury. There are darknesses in life and there are lights, and you're one of the lights. The light of all lights. By Bram Stoker, 4th August 1897. You gotta be kidding me. Wow, that's pretty cool. Personal version. And we just stole it now? Are you kidding me?
It's locked.
I really wish I could lay it back. No, she's painting us? She is. Isn't she? Whoa. Okay, that's crazy. The Blood Night tragedy. Only a few of us remain after the shock of the Great Hunt. I was one of them. I remember how the sudden attack of the enemy caught us all by surprise. Blood was shed during those few nights. Some of us who survived chose to exile. I don't blame them, but I regret the lack of fortitude. For it is courage we need to protect the interests of the Empire. Courage. We need to defend the values we stand for. May we all remember that William Marshall himself never lowered his head. My beloved maker may be long gone now, but his presence is still among us. We keep a few drops of a sacred blood to remind us what we are and what we seek: honor, purity, and excellence. I had the privilege of speaking with the knight many times, as his progeny and as his friend. He spoke to me of the tear of angels, the holy beverage supposed to appease the inextinguishable hunger we all feel, that he never ceased to search, even without knowing if such artifact exists. I admired his tenacity, and it is this tenacity, this indefectible belief in something bigger than us, that will make us survive any future great hunt launched by our enemies. Ascalon will be rebuilt, always. For it is an ideal from the law of Ascalon by Lord Redgrave. Lovely Lady Ashbury.
Hello again, Jonathan. To what do I owe the pleasure of your visit?
Sorry to disturb you again, but could you spare me a few minutes?
Of course, my dear. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
Concerning your investigation.
Yes?
Are you truly seeking to identify my maker?
I cannot promise you anything, but yes. I am conducting some research of my own.
Do you think we shall ever see better days? Or at least, better nights?
I know not, Jonathan. I have seen some horrid days in my long lifetime. Experience has taught me that one cannot outrun the fates.
When all of this is over, the war and the epidemic, we could leave the city for a while. Travel around Europe, you and I.
Traveling is always so complicated for us poor creatures of the night. But yes, I would be glad to travel the world with you, my dear.
Come on, this is... There has to be something.
Will you tell me your story one day, Lady Ashbury?
One of them, perhaps. I have had so many lives, Jonathan. Eternity may not be enough to relate them all.
Do you know if the epidemic has affected many people in the West End?
I confess I've been more concerned by events in the East End. The wealthy have more efficient ways of dealing with infection.
But this is no common epidemic.
That is true. I must tell my daughter to stay at home for a few days. But the girl is stubborn and fiercely independent. Much like her mother.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Elizabeth.
It is so cute, though. I mean... Oh. I don't want to disturb you. Oh. Are we caught here now? Yeah. Okay. I'll just look at her while she does the painting. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely us. That is so that is so cute. I mean, she would love to travel the world with us, right? To travel around the world.